Hello. One of the very important things you need to remember about where information might be if you have a problem with anything pretty much cottage-wise, particularly putting the water in or whatever, is this cupboard. Because inside this cupboard, at least currently, there are two very important books. One is the birch bark book. This has almost everything you need to know about how to do things. Cottage close-up, opening this and that, notes for the host with the most, putting the water in. They're all handwritten. Anyway, it goes on and on. Also in this cupboard is another binder. It's got, if you can read it, I don't know, it says Cottage Puttering Basic Info and How To. Most of those things are photocopies of articles out of the Cottage Life magazine. The tasks that over the years I certainly have had to do from time to time. And it tells you how to do this and that, what tools you need, stuff like that there. You should always remember that because it's information going to waste if you don't use it. From the magic toolbox, in order to do spring prep on the washer, you need only one thing. Well, you need two things. You need that screwdriver and these channel lock pliers. We will also need the Phillips screwdriver. There are all the tools. The Phillips screwdriver, the slotted screwdriver, and the channel lock pliers. I'm going to try and do this way and several different ways. We're going to prep the washer for the spring. So you should probably drain the antifreeze out of the pump in the bottom, the stuff that was put in the fall, or that you will put in the fall, whatever the case may be, if you haven't done it before. So you take the drain tray for paint, and you stick it down here. See that? Stick it under that. You pop open the door. Down that tray, under this lever, this cap, whatever antifreeze hasn't dried out, will come out rather rapidly. That just saves some draining time. We are still going to flush it, but doing that doesn't hurt. And put it back in. You need to open up the bottom of the washer to make sure that there's no water sitting in the bottom of it. It happened once. The water got high enough in here that it came up over the bottom, woohoo, over that platform. Ta-da! And when it did that, it flooded the electronics in the bottom of the washer. That was not a pretty thing. It cost almost as much as a new washer to fix the boards that got zapped when we tried to run it in the spring. Although we got through the spring prep, it was the next time, for whatever reason. Now to get the front panel off, there are 3 screws. One at each corner, one at each end, and one in the middle of that plate. I don't know if you can see it. Woo! One over there, one over there, one over there. Phillips screwdriver. And that's what it looks like without the panel. And that's what it looks like inside. Mousy doo-doos. It looks dry. Just mouse stuff. Okay, now we have to put the panel back on. That's a set of instructions for if you repairmen and stuff, so leave that there. I opened up the panel, but I just remember I was reminded when I tried to put it back on that it's one of the hardest things to do. Yes, I'm really sweating now. And just those 3 screws, real tough to get back in. I had to use levers to leverage up the panel to get it in the right spot, put the screws on. It's also easier to put it back on if you know that door you open first to get to the drain thing. Leave that off until you get that panel back on. To do that, first thing we have to do is connect the water hoses. Now you have to be very careful because down here they are reversed. If you look in behind, let's move those. Looking behind, you see it says hot on the right and cold on the left. That's because the plumber did it wrong, and I wasn't the plumber, so don't blame me. Not that time. So, anyway, we have to hook up the hoses to the lines. Take a hose. Check which side you're going to. This says it's the hot. So, screw that on there. Careful not to cross thread it. Sometimes they're a little bit resistant, like this one is being. And it's really just finger tight. Now the trick now is to make sure in this loop of hoses over here, whoopsie! Let's see. See those? See the hose goes down to where it's hooked in here? To make sure we get the right one. And it's this one. And I'm gonna take it over here. Remembering that it's the hot one. I'm gonna put it on. Remember those letters? Turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. H. H for hot. I'm going to connect this back here. Now this is plastic on brass, so you shouldn't over tighten. You gotta make sure they're unsquared. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the cold. Just like magic. Those things are both on. Remember, plastic and brass don't over tighten. You're not going to be able to tell whether or not the attachments are tight enough. Whoop! There we go. Who knows what I'm doing to my setting. Until, and what even happened here, when we open up these taps, we still won't be able to tell whether or not everything's tight enough, because as soon as the water starts flowing, there's pressure because of the air that's in the hose, and the water isn't actually as far as the washer yet. You know, before we know that, we have to run the washer. Plug it in. Door. Remember, the door has to stay partly open and not fully closed to keep some aeration in, but keep the mice out. We close the door, and we have to press some buttons. So we're going to turn it on. Woo! Here's the button. Right there. And we're going to put it on. We're just going to let it fill. Remember, it waits to see if there are any kids in there. It weighs the laundry. And then it's going to go. Putting some water in. And I hear an airplane. The airplane went by. We got past the point of letting you see if there are any kids in the washer. It's letting some water in, which I don't know if you can tell. Woo. Now, we're going to let it do this until it gets to the point where it has enough water in it and it starts to spin. When it starts to spin, I'm going to stop it and force it to pump water out. Spin a little bit. You can't really tell, it's too dark. Alright, Now we're going to force it to stop right by pressing that button. And I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to give it a minute to, see, it pumps itself out because you stopped it. Well, actually, not because we stopped it, but because we turned it off. That's why. Once it finishes, little burpy noises. Now we have another step to do before we could proceed. I have to take the worm hose off because I'm going to, well, since we're going to end up putting bleach in the water to flush to wash to take the winter stink out of the bin. Then we can't have all that bleach when it's pumping it out. Go into the septic tank. So to do that, we do a couple of things. We're going to take the hose off there, and then we're going to clamp it to the laundry tub using this. It's up there. You remember how to get this off, don't you? Don't you? This is easy. So we're going to undo this. Undo the worm clamp. Loosen it off. Then we're going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then we're going to take it over to the laundry tub. So it took a little fiddling, but there's that clamp holding that nozzle there. Yes, it needs to be clamped because there's a lot of pressure when that pump pumps out. It'll blow that hose right off that sink if you don't have the clamp on. Notice that the drain plug is in. It is slightly ajar. It's going to let the drain water go down. And I've timed it. Everything will work out. You just have to, it'll take the entire washer load of water, and it's a lot more water than you've ever seen before. I'm going to check for leaks back here. Oh, nothing there. Whoops, and nothing there. Everything looks okay. And nothing from over there. We're going to be using something called basket clean. Right there. We have to add bleach, a bunch of bleach, and it's in the instructions, which are on the side of the refrigerator. I mean, sorry, side of the washer, down here, or in the birch bark book. I have my cup of bleach. Best to use the glass measuring cup, I think, for bleach, since it won't permeate the glass. So we open up the door, pour the bleach in. Put that back in there for now. Close the door. Turn it on. Now we want to select basket clean. This one. It does. It changes all its settings on its own to do basket clean. And when we press start, it'll do its thing. And that says clean. Not sure you can read that. It says clean. It's CLN. And when I do that, it will be starting. Here we go. Start. Still does its door lock to make sure you haven't locked any kids or pets in there with the bleach. Same amount of waiting time, but you have never seen this thing fill up so quickly. Once the washer shuts down, you have to, of course, reconnect the drain hose to, remember, the drain hose, right there, the drain hose, and put it back over on its hook over there. So I'm going to put the drain hose back on here, wiggle, 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 wiggle. And I'm going to put that up in place, and if I had my screwdriver, I could put it on. Let me go get that. Tighten it up. Oh, I can hear that thing constantly refocusing. Put this on as a way to give a little extra support for the drain hose. Make sure that it's not going to interfere with the window when you close it. Open and close it. There we go. The instructions say that once you do a basket cleaning, you should make sure that your next load is whites, or at least light colors, just in case there's still some residue inside the machine of the bleach. But I'm going to do a flush, just like we started with flushing out the antifreeze. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to press the button, and I'm going to let it go through its little setup here. And I'm going to let it run for a little bit. I'll stop it, and then it'll flush out, pump out, and we will consider it just about ready to use. So it's been flushing for several minutes. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to turn it off so it's going to evacuate the water. Away it goes. I can see it going down. You can't, but I can. Last but not least, I'm going to open up this tray because there's water trapped in it, and dump it in the sink so it doesn't end up getting musty later. Put it back in. Tricky to do one-handed. Open that, but it's still being held by the bungee cords. You turn off the water feeds. La 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 la. I'm so tired. And we unplug it. Pushing the plug back up there so it doesn't get near the faucet. And you're done. That's how to do spring prep of the washer. Or any other time that you think that the tub has gotten stinky, you can do exactly the same thing.
Taking care of business, it's all mine. Taking care of business.